Welcome everyone to Tarot and the Moons. My name is Ingrid. Let's get started. I just wanted to remind everyone that if you find these videos long, you can go on the settings section on YouTube and speed up the video. I also wanted to invite everyone to subscribe as a paid member to my Substack community, where you are going to receive monthly whispered prayers, the colors of tarot, the unicorn vision and miracles. That's going to be a fun offering. The 2026 predictions will be there, and nature's rhythm readings will also be there. I will put a link on the description of this video where you can subscribe as a paid subscription member and be part of Arch Larimar's community there. And I'll also give you another link for the page itself where you can click on the navigation bars so you can get a description of what all of these offerings are going to be. And just heads up, I am going to be putting the winter solstice reading on Substack. It's going to be available on Sunday the 21st. And this is going to come with a PDF handout in order for you to track what it is that you're seeding from now until the summer solstice. The winter solstice is really the beginning of the new growth, building toward the light, right? Building toward that summer solstice period. So go check that out if you're interested, and I hope you become a paid subscriber of Substack. I kept the price very low for all of these offerings, and I really can't wait to meet a lot of you too. We're going to meet in person via Zoom a couple times a year, just for us to chat, get card readings, of course, which will all be exclusive to paid subscribers over at Substack. So I do hope you consider joining me there. All right. Now, on to December. This December 19th or 20th, depending on where you live, we have a Sagittarius new moon. And this occurs right when the sun and the moon are aligned in that fiery sign of Sagittarius. And that's marking the start of this fresh lunar cycle, emphasizing an expansion and emphasizing an inner renewal. And this is from now until that full moon, right? So Sagittarius, what is that? What is that sign all about? For me, a Sagittarius is about understanding, but it's you're like understanding what, right? And for me, it's just about understanding sacredness, understanding spirituality, and our relationship to the cosmos, to God, to that universal one life force. It's generally, for me, about the higher truth and the higher mind. Um, and it's Sagittarius is also about philosophy and also the legal system. And for our purposes, right, it's more about this personal belief system and our willingness to travel the distance in order to expand our own horizons. In astrology, new moons are always these moments to plant these intentions, set new goals, and open this emotional space for what we want to grow in the coming weeks. When this lunar rebirth happens in Sagittarius, the energy is going to lean towards seeking a brighter horizon and embracing an adventurous mindset in order to encourage that spiritual exploration within ourselves. So Sagittarius is symbolized, right, by this archer's arrow, and it's aiming upward, which is a metaphor for aiming toward a higher meaning and a greater understanding. This is a sign associated often, not often. It's Sagittarius is a sign associated with the fire element, and fire is passion, it's vitality, it's inspiration, and it's a sign that's also influenced by Jupiter and its expansion and its wisdom and its for me, Jupiter is like the spiritual guide that's usually filled with grace and law. And for me, these are universal laws that are coming into play with this new moon in Sagittarius. And together, when we got this Sagittarian fire with this Jupiter's influence of expansion, we are going to not want, but we're going to be feeling, right? We're going to be feeling this desire for freedom and expansion while also remaining emotionally grounded as we seek our own individual spiritual quests, right? Remember that one of the reasons why I'm doing these readings with the full moon and new moons is really to emphasize the importance of emotions. And the moon, of course, represents our emotions. And that's because for me, once we are self-aware with our own emotions and regulate our emotions, that's when we're able to connect not only with ourselves better, but also with each other in a more sacred way, in a way that creates a space of understanding rather than a space of illusions. So the emotional resonance for me with the moon in Sagittarius reflects this inner world that is wanting to thrive on freedom, wanting to stay curious, and definitely desiring expansion. Now, remember what I said, that the moon really governs our emotions, our comfort needs, and our instincts. And when it's placed in a Sagittarius, we are, and it's a mutable fire too. So we are being brought into the space of wanting and desiring loving adventures. And this is what I want you to consider seeding, loving adventures for all of humanity, right? For all of humanity. Um, During my meditation for this new moon, sorry if I'm sounding a little distant, I'm trying to control my little puppy here, who has decided that every time I record, he's just going to be mischievous. Anyway, well, during my meditation, for this particular new moon in Sagittarius, the word that appeared before me was prepare. In this energy of December, we are really being guided to make these choices that are focused on our deepest longing, our deepest desired path. And remember that word in during the full moon reading, that these barriers, right, are being removed so that good fortune arrives with ease and peace. But if we're not prepared to receive the ease and the peace, then we will fall into emotional chaos. This new moon is really asking us to be meticulous with our work and our discipline, with our commitments, with ourselves and with others, so that we remain in that space of preparedness to stay on our path, no matter what it is. We have to be prepared for what may come. And remember that the moon is actually, as Rudolf Steiner had identified, the moon is actually a spiritual being. Actually, in fact, all of the planets are spiritual beings that are propelling their energy rays onto our subconscious realms. And in particular, this moon in Sagittarius is seeking that we prepare ourselves for the creativity that's emerging, for the new spirituality that is emerging, for the field of magic and prophetic disposition that is emerging. And those are all qualities of Sagittarius. What was fascinating to me about this word prepare when that arose was that this particular new moon is giving us a glimpse of what the energy is going to be for 2026, because one of the archetypes of Sagittarius is the Wheel of Fortune. And the Wheel of Fortune is the major archetypal energies that are being activated in the year 2026. And I'll speak a little bit more about that in my tarot predictions for 2026, which again will be available for paid subscribers of Substack. So with this new moon, we are definitely being asked to prepare for what is to come in 2026. And for me, this is an indication that we are going to have to prepare ourselves by grounding our energies and definitely grounding our emotions in the sacred realms of spiritual engagements. Okay, so before we start speaking about the tarot archetypes that influence Sagittarius, and there are two, it's the Temperance and the Wheel of Fortune. I just wanted to remind everyone that when we get to this first quarter moon, that's the time in which we do our clearing and our intention settings, okay? Now, let's move on to the next slide. Once again, we have Jupiter, who's the ruler of Sagittarius, and in both Vedic and sidereal astrology, both Vedic and tropical astrology, the new moon is in the zodiac sign of Sagittarius, and that's having to do with the degrees, right? So even if we move it 23 degrees back, which is usually the degree point in which we move it back, it still falls in Sagittarius, okay? So again, we have Jupiter in the mix. It is a new moon in Sagittarius. And don't forget, when we get to this last quarter moon, that's the point in which you activate. When the sun is halfway through the moon's surface. Okay? That's when you activate your intentions. That's when you activate your release points as well. That's the moment of equilibrium. That's the moment of balance within the moon's surface and thereby our inner world. Okay? Let's put that aside. And the tarot cards that Jupiter rules are the Wheel of Fortune and Temperance. Now, whenever we're dealing with the Wheel of Fortune, this is about change. This is about the cycles of change. This is also about fate, what we cannot change, right? On its more challenging, it's about stagnation, being stuck. This is why I tell people when the wheel shows up in a reading, don't control too much, because the minute you control, you literally stop the flow of energy. So on a more challenging, this could also be not the best luck, right? Resistance to change is also part of this destiny card. So imagine that at an amplified scale for 2026. Now, when we're dealing with the Temperance card, this is an angelic force, right? This is about balance. This is about moderation. This is about patience, right? On its more challenging side, this can be about extremes. This can be about excesses. This can be about lack of harmony, right? So chaos, right? So the fact that this angelic force is here with this new moon, accompanied by the Wheel of Fortune, be cognizant that there's also the field of miracle in this new moon. All right. So we're going to move on to the reading. I will gravitate toward either the Wheel of Fortune or Temperance. Just as a point of reference, I focus on your moon astrological signs when I'm doing these readings. However, people have told me that when they look at their sun sign or they look at their ascendant, it also makes sense. The way that I would do it is you journal it like a story. The moon obviously is your feeling nature. So what will be the emotional currents, right, for this new moon for you? The sun represents sort of the trajectory of where you're headed. And for me, the ascendant is how you get to the trajectory, right? So depending on how your emotions are, we can tell also how smooth or how challenging this new moon might be for you. All right. Um, Before we move on to the next slide, which is going to be the reading, I did want to say thank you to everyone. This is going to be our last Tarot and the Moons reading for this year. I will continue it in the following year, maybe slightly a little bit different. I shall see what I am inspired to do. But I did want to take this moment to thank everyone. I want you to stay safe during those holidays and also to really start focusing on what it is that you want to intend, not in terms of material possessions, but in terms of your values, your virtues, and the qualities of your persona that you want to activate for 2026. All right, let's move on now to the reading. Once again, this is a new moon tarot and oracle reading in Sagittarius, ruled by Jupiter, who rules the Wheel of Fortune and also the Temperance card. I'm going to start from Sagittarius and work my way around. I'm using Nicoletta Ciccoli's both her tarot and her oracle decks because I feel that it has a mystical quality, otherworldly quality, which is also something that I sense with when we look at the centaurs, right? Otherworldly in that sense, and mystical as well. All right, so let's begin here with um we're going to begin here with Sagittarius. Let's go. All right, you've got this Five of Cups. Anytime I see this Five of Cups energy, I'm immediately drawn to this energy of temperance here for you because we want to balance out this sort of chaotic energy that's kind of flowing in and out of your experience for this new moon energy. All right, so this feels very much an emotional energy, perhaps of childhood stuff coming up, only because I see the nest. And just the important thing here to see is that you are being held. So allow yourself to be held during this time period from this new moon until that full moon, right? Allow yourself to be held as you go through your emotional turbulence or your emotional engagement and release it as well. It's a perfect time to release that. Any heaviness that we may find with emotions. Yeah, let's see what Sagittarius your guidance is. Number 31, Nicoletta has a booklet here. She unfortunately didn't write down the words, so we will look for 31. And I think I skipped it. Tough love. Yeah. Things that are good for us don't always feel good. And I feel like for you, things that are not good for you, maybe it does have to do with childhood, which is what I was kind of picking up. Something with childhood, releasing it, you know, when we do our quote unquote shadow work and releasing these heavy energies, it doesn't feel good for us at the time, but it's good for you in order for you to feel this engagement of harmony, blessings coming from above. Beautiful. And also, I'm noticing you've got this double five. So if you do the work, right? If you do the energy work here that's needed in order to release and temper these chaotic emotional energies within you, you will be in your destined path of, ooh, I just screwed everything up. You will be in your destined path of the Wheel of Fortune. Now, let's see if I can carefully put these back. Let's see, that was there. This was here. It happens. Somebody asked me why I don't stamp these and put, you know, the signs, etc. And it's just the fact is that this takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of time to shuffle, to put these down, to organize, to do my meditation. The whole process could take me anywhere from 2 to 4 hours, depending on the energies that I'm working with. So yeah, that's why I don't do that. But you know, I do tell you, I start from Sagittarius, so you can work your way around the wheel and figure it out. All right, the next one that we have up is Capricorn. And Capricorn, we've got this energy of the 13th card. This is death, right? This is like, what is it that I want to cut away? And I am being drawn here to the Temperance card. What is it that I want to cut away, release, rejuvenate, and recycle? Remember that in Tarot, death is not the ultimate literal death, but rather it's the understanding that we are engaging in cycles in life, right? So there's something here that you have to release, recycle, rejuvenate within you for this new moon period, and allow the angelic forces to come in and assist you also. Like, don't be shy about calling in temperance or those angelic forces to really alchemize what needs to be alchemized in your life at this time. And let's see what you've got. You've got the 2 energy. Let's see what she says. The 2 is distraction. Interesting. So it says the first sentence, and I'll read the first sentence out for anyone, for everyone's. The modern daily environment is chattering chaos of information and opinions. So yeah, let that go, release it. You know, where it seems to me that, you know, you need this energy of sort of the death archetype to come in to release these narratives that you've either been hearing. It sounds like chatter, so that people have been telling you that is really not serving you anymore. And it may have to do with a relationship, only because I'm seeing that 2 energy up here. So it may have to do with a relationship gone sour. It's time to let it go, release it, recycle it. All right, next we have Aquarius, Sun, Moon, or Rising babies. And we've got the Hierophant. I already love this, right? The Hierophant energy with the monkey. I love this. I'm gravitating toward the Wheel of Fortune here because even though whatever the Hierophant is saying, people are looking up to the Hierophant in a very serious engagement, right? This information is serious. It's really, you know, higher power type thing. And it's like, you know, yeah, be light about it with yourself, right? And understand that we are not in control, right? That we're not in control. Let the wheels turn here and understand that destiny doesn't always have to be this serious thing. It could be light, and there's a levity here that's going to bring you some sort of fortune. And let's see. We've got the 1 card. She's like inundating herself with the flowers or something. I don't know. Let's see what it says. What number is that? 1. Oh, fair enough. Denial. Denial. And the first sentence says, the world can be mean and scary place. You know, for me, I just felt like, yeah, it's already like a serious a place, right? We are already inundated with a serious energy. And so why not be playful? Whenever I think of the Wheel of Fortune, I do think of like, you know, taking a gamble and seeing what comes up. Like, it just reminds me of a game that was here in the States where you would turn the wheel and it's a Wheel of Fortune and you just don't know. So just don't get inundated with this the seriousness of it all, or the seriousness of the engagement of life, and be more in the space of levity, even though it is serious. You know, I almost wanted to say, make it a game. And sometimes, yeah, when we start seeing we start connecting things and see it as the bigger picture energy, it's not as heavy. You know, it just doesn't appear as heavy. All right, the next card we have is Pisces, Sun, Moon, or Rising. What do we have here? We've got this Empress energy, which is an interesting Empress energy, and I'm gravitating again toward the Wheel of Fortune. Um, yeah, this energy, she's analyzing her environment, every little detail, every little minute thing around her. She's kind of analyzing it, I think, too much, in my opinion, because she's not enjoying her environment, right? And this is a strange Empress energy to have, because usually you see her dominating her field. Although one could argue that she is dominating her field by examining her environment. But there's like this element of sadness, even with this magnifying glass of looking at every little thing. And that to me feels of wanting to control destiny, wanting to control fate, which when we start doing that, when we start controlling things, we don't let the energies flow. The 19th card. Yeah, I almost feel like it should be from this higher perspective that you see your environment, because somehow you can enjoy it versus this detail. But let's see what the 19th card is on Nicoletta's deck, Oracle deck. And the 19th card for her is management. Good job. Everything is running smoothly under your expert supervision. Well, you also got that, right? So we'll go with that. Like your expert supervision of looking at every little detail. I just want you to be able to enjoy it and enjoy the experience a little bit more. But we'll go with that energy of being able to manage everything around you, but I just think managing it from the larger, bigger perspective versus the detail is going to bring you better fortune. Next we have Aries, Sun, Moon, or Rising, and we've got the 19th card. This is the Sun energy, right? All eyes on you. Was gonna pull the Temperance card, but I really wanted the Wheel of Fortune. If you got that Wheel of Fortune with this Sun energy, it's like you will have during this time period fortune coming your way, and all eyes on you. Things are being expressed, things are being exposed, things are being revealed to you, and it could even be of an esoteric nature. That's what I'm getting from the bee, right? The queen bee energy here. Let's see what your engagement says. It's the 27th card, which is also, right, all eyes on you. That's the cover of her oracle deck. Okay, what was the number? 27. Let's see what it says. Compassion. Wow, look at that. So compassion, if you've been harmed by someone, your pain and anger are legitimate responses. This is very interesting. So perhaps for you, coming into this new moon period until the full moon, there are going to be revelations that are coming to you, possibly about your past. And your ability to express that energy is going to bring you some sort of fortune, or an awareness, or even recognition of you as a leader of that topic, perhaps. Fascinating. Okay, let's put this down. Next, we have Taurus, Sun, Moon, or Rising energy. And we've got the 7, which is the energy of Chariot. But this Chariot is really not moving forward because it's paying attention to the child, the inner child, I feel. So sometimes, we want to move forward, being gravitating towards the Wheel of Fortune. We want the wheel to move forward. We want to achieve our goals. We want to head toward a direction that we're focusing on. However, if we don't take care of our inner engagement, we will not be able to move forward. We will not be able to allow the flow of fortune to come our way. So for you, it looks like, and it might be just Nicoletta's cards, but it looks like there's a lot of sort of energies here of healing our childhood wounds somehow. Maybe Chiron um, is coming in through this expression somehow, but yeah, for you, there's a taking care of that inner child is important. Now let's see what your oracle says. 23. I love that. It almost feels like a little bit playful and going above the challenges, above the obstacles. Let's see what it says. 23. 23 is rescue. Help is on the way. You may not have consciously called for it, but nevertheless, the universe is sending you some assistance. Beautiful. So, yeah, maybe even the temperance is being engaged here as well. With that help is on the way. I love that. And it feels like a maternal energy. It feels like the help and assistance that you're seeking or wanting or desiring or that you'll receive does have to do with mother or maybe even mother nature. So go out in nature, right? We do have the little bee here. So go out in nature and explore and see and let destiny take its course. Next we have Gemini, Sun, Moon, or Rising. Is that backwards? Yes, it was. And this is a beautiful energy of the Strength card. Wow. And I feel like the energy of this Strength card is very much like putting together pieces and making sure that you don't fall, that you don't crumble under the pressure, right? And one of the ways that we can do this is to keep your engagement on the celestial, keep your engagement on the spiritual aspects, right? And that way you showcase your strength. Let's see what you've got here. A 28th card. Now that seems like it's more of the energy of the strength card, right? The lion taming something. But let's see what the 28th card is. Intimidation. Yeah, this felt like more, I felt like that was more of the strength energy card versus this one. But there is something very delicate that you're balancing, Gemini, Sun, Moon, or Rising. And it states here, someone may be trying to exploit your weakness or what they perceive as weakness. Don't buy into their view. That's right. Just don't engage that. And that is part of the strength energy. You don't want to fall into the rage, into the anger, into that energy. You want to kind of stay up on your specific sort of tower, right? Your specific castle is what I meant to say, right? So keep your head up. Whatever it is, it will pass. Cancer, Sun, Moon, or Rising. What do we have here for the new moon? Oh, that was the right way, Ingrid. The Nine of Swords, right? So for me, every time we see the Nine of Swords, there is an element of fear here, but it's not real, right? This is why the little bunny is like, you see these two girls on the side here scared, but it's just a big bunny, right? So it's like us kind of like being in that space of our own nightmare, and it's not real. So allow yourself to be harmonized with your mind. So there's something here for Cancer Moon or Sun babies to really balance the mind and not let the chatter take you into the creative realms that's more of fear rather than of love and joy, really, or playfulness even. Let's see what this is. Six, let's see, six. Oh, and look at that. I turned this around and she's on the back end of this. So let's see what the six is. Should be over here. Innocence. Oh, wow. Beautiful, right? Because it's like there's also this energy of you know, the nine of swords, and this energy of innocence with the kids, and this joy and playfulness. So there's this element of innocence that you have to recognize for yourself for this new moon. A child's innocence is precious, and parents hope that the roughness of the adult world doesn't intrude too soon. And this is kind of like reminding me of you being very protective, or maybe it's you protecting others very much so. And in that protection, sometimes we create the fear that isn't there, and we fail to see the innocence of the situation. All right. Next we have, sorry about that, it's a little messy. Leo, Sun, Moon, or Rising. And the Leo babies, we have that Seven of Swords energy, right? And the Seven of Swords energy always kind of gives me the impression that someone's taking something from you, or that they're following you. It has this like you're getting backstabbed energy, right? So I don't want you to think of it any other way than let it roll off your shoulders. Let the chaos kind of occur, but protect yourself, right? This is an angelic presence, and you can call in the angels to protect yourself, your higher guides to protect yourself, and not let these shadowy figures kind of follow you around. And you can even see this big shadow right in front of the main character here as well, right? So be aware of it, but don't engage it. That's the energy that I'm getting up for the Leo Sun, Moon, or Rising. The five card in the Oracle. Let's see what that is, because I don't know. And it's gossip. This is like the second time that we get this gossipy energy kind of coming. Somebody over here had this gossipy energy. So yeah, you want to kind of like not engage the gossip, not engage the shadowy aspects of things, and let it just roll. And this one actually says gossip may seem harmless fun at first, just entertaining tidbits and juicy rumors, but it rarely stops there. Delicious becomes malicious before you know it. So yeah, so you yourself don't participate in the gossip, right? Don't engage with, oh my God, do you know what so and so did to me or followed me, or maybe this is like vice versa, right? So we want to be careful about that, and we want to really stay on our harmonious engagement with our emotional waters. Virgo, Sun, Moon, or Rising. We've got the Ace of Cups. So there's a lot of emotional attachment or emotional engagement going on here. And when we see the Ace of Cups, it is about relationships. And here it's figuring as relationship with your children. I just feel there's an element of sadness here. And I'm going to bring the Wheel of Fortune only because once we start, you know how she's holding her children very tightly. Once we try to control people or circumstances or situations or children and what they do, we really stop the progress of fortune. We really go into the space of stagnation and bad luck. So don't be forcing the control aspect too much with your family members. See what your guidance says. And it's the 9 energy. Oh, it feels fun and playful. Let's see what the 9 says. Happy place. It did seem playful to me. So happy place. Your happy place might be a physical place, or it might be simply a happy state of mind. I love that. So really relax the mind and be in this happy space where you're not controlling the outcomes or the energies of your loved ones, so that this flow of fortune can actually come your way during this new moon period. So relax the mind and keep positive. Libra, Sun, Moon, or Rising. Let's put this back. And what do we have here? We've got the 7 of clubs, and that doesn't look very nice, right? Getting punished for something. Sometimes I feel like this can also be over, doing too much work kind of thing, like doing something that's going to land you into a mischievous engagement. I'm gravitating here towards the Wheel of Fortune. I don't know why she decided to draw it out as a corporal punishment, but for me, it just feels like we have to have faith that our fortune, whatever is going on right now in your life, where you feel that there's a punishment, when you feel that something's unfair, allow yourself the opportunity to be in the space of having faith that your fortune will change, even though that did not look very nice. 11, I love this princess in her castle, right? This energy of you being the leader of your own destined path with that 11. But let's see what the book says on her oracle. And it says improvisation, and sometimes you got to fake it till you make it. So I would say that just fake it till you make it into this realm of the good fortune, and improvise. So this is what it says on improvisation. Don't worry if you don't have solid plan for how to proceed. Many things are actually better when they develop spontaneously, organically, and playfully. I love that. So yeah, even though you may be feeling like this is a tough engagement, right, or you're being quote unquote punished, or things are not moving the way that you want, keep improvising, fake it till you make it, and keep your eye right on that prize, which is the good fortune. That was funny. Sun, moon, or rising Libra. Lastly, we have here sun, moon, or rising Scorpio energy. And we've got the 8 of Wands. Now, the 8 of Wands energy for me kind of always symbolizes this return of blessings, right? Because of that 8 energy. It just is it's sort of like a return of blessings, a return of creative inspiration. It's a fire energy, right? So it's creative in that sense. And it's also it ignites a passion from within that you're seeking, but it's actually coming from the outer realms. And I'm gravitating toward the temperance energy, because these little clusters up here, they reminded me of stars. So that it almost felt like the stars were coming down to bless you, to provide you with abundance. 8 is abundance, for the work that you're creating at this time. This is Scorpio, sun, moon, or rising. So there's blessings coming your way. And the 4 being the number of stability. Where's the Nicoletta card? What did I do with it? Oh, there it is. Yeah, this just feels like a very focused energy. So continue to be focused. And I love that both of these have wings, right? So whatever it is, and actually the archetype here has wings because she's an angelic force here. So whatever it is that you're cooking up for this new moon engagement, it's gonna fly. It's gonna take hold, and it's just gonna fly. That's what I see. But let's see what Nicoletta has to say about the 4 oracle. Vigilance. Yeah, it look that's funny because it looked like focus, like she's so focused. I'm gonna show you that card again. She's so focused on something, right? She's on a swing, but she's not really playing. She's like focused on something. So that's what I saw. But this says vigilance. Keep an eye on the situation, but don't do anything just yet. There will be time for action later, and your energy will be needed then. So, whatever it is you're cooking up, don't be sort of disappointed if it doesn't take, if you're not working on all the details right now. There's something that's percolating. It's like you have it all set up. Just wait for that right timing, which is also part of the energy of harmony. Temperance is actually about timing. Beautiful. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Oh, thank you all so much. Have a this is going to be the last um tarot and oracle reading for the moons this year until we get into the full moon. I think it's in January 3rd sometime. In the meantime, be safe, enjoy yourselves, enjoy the company of your friends and family, stay grounded.